On 23rd of May of 1915, Italy declared war on the Austro-Hungarian Empire. When decision was made, the Italian army was in a poor state, and based on the agreement with the Entente powers, they were expecting that Britain and France would do all the fighting that was necessary. On the other hand, the Italian treasury could not fund the war, but again, there were promises of money and munitions from London and Paris. With all the promises and hopes, Italy entered the war, and this decision to turn against the ally and enter the war surprised many. For example, the Austro-Hungarian and German leadership, the Italian army, the Italian treasury and navy. When the declaration of war was submitted, literally no one was prepared to fight a war, especially Italy. At this time, Austria-Hungary was already fighting a war with more or less success for over a year, and the navy was already in a combat-ready status. So when Italians declared war, the Austro-Hungarian navy was quick to react. They literally pulled together a task force to deliver some painful punches to the Italians, whom at this point were still trying to figure out what to do now that they declared war on the Austro-Hungarian Empire. I know this sounds weird and maybe unbelievable, but this was literally the case. The Italian navy was not in a state to fight a war at this point, as they were not informed on time that they should. So Italy declared war on the 23rd of May 1915, and on the same day, the Austro-Hungarian navy already sent their units into the Italian side of the Adriatic Sea to poke the Italians. The destroyer SMS Dinara and torpedo boat TB-53T bombarded the port of Ancona. The destroyer SMS Lika was sent on a reconnaissance mission between Palagruza and Cape Gargano, and if she was already there, also shelled the semaphore and radio station at Viest. The Italians only could send one destroyer to defend the area, which was the turbine. A small duel started between the opposing forces, with Lika coming out as a winner from the fight, damaging the Italian destroyer. But they did not stop here. On the next day, on the 24th of May, the Navy organized few task forces to hit the Italians, and the Admiralty made a risky move, which was unseen from them before. They pulled together the majority of the Austro-Hungarian Navy for a raid. Almost the whole fleet lined up and left Pola to attack the Italian coastline. The ships that were operating in enemy waters were also redirected to join them. The fleet consisted of 3 dreadnoughts, 8 pre-dreadnoughts, 2 scout cruisers and around 20 destroyers and torpedo boats. We can safely say that the attack surprised the Italians. And I want to really emphasize on this. No one was expecting the Austro-Hungarian Navy to pull off such a large scale of operation in literally in a minute notice. SMS Tegetov and the destroyer SMS Velebit shelled the Italian airship Città di Ferrara of Ancona. The SMS Radetzky and 2 torpedo boats bombarded Potenza Picena, then returned to Pola. The SMS Zrínyi, joined by 2 more torpedo boats, bombarded Senigallia, destroying a train and damaging a railway station and the bridge, before they returning home. The torpedo boat TB3 was attacked by an Italian flying boat, but this was unsuccessful and this ship also returned safely home. Another task force, led by the scout cruiser SMS Admiral Spawn, bombarded the Italian signal station at Cretaceo Island, while SMS St. George, supported by 2 torpedo boats, shelled Rimini, damaging a freight train. In the meantime, the destroyer SMS Streiter attacked the signal station near Torre di Mileto, and the light cruiser SMS Novara, a destroyer and 2 torpedo boats, entered the Corzini Channel and shelled an Italian torpedo boat station, another semaphore station and few batteries of coastal artillery. Parallel to this, another task force consisted of the scout cruiser SMS Helgoland and 4 destroyers ran into the Italian destroyer Turbine, which earlier had an encounter with the SMS Lika, and got in a fight south of Pelagosa. The destroyer SMS Tatra shelled the railway embankment near Manfredonia, while the destroyer SMS Chapel shelled the Manfredonia railway station, but not only the Navy took part of this raid. The Austro-Hungarian Air Force also got involved and sent their flying boats to bomb Venice, also the seaplane hangars at Chiarivelle. As the aftermath of this raid was significant, the bombed railway stations and signaling stations pushed back the mobilization of the Italian army with weeks, if not months. This raid also showed the real combat capability of the Austro-Hungarian Navy, which had to be taken into consideration going forward. As a result, a large Allied blockade was raised to prevent the Austro-Hungarian fleet from leaving the Adriatic Sea. The Otranto barrage would be raided by Austro-Hungarian Navy several times throughout the war, but the Austro-Hungarian warships rarely left the bases after this raid, which is very disappointing knowing what they can and did achieve if they are sent into a fight. Unfortunately, this has not happened, and after this raid, most of these ships spent the rest of the war in ports. Thank you for joining me on this video again, and if you got this far, you might want to subscribe to my channel so you won't miss out on my future videos. Bye!